I think it'd be really handy that I actually configured that computer on a bit of an emergency then, which you don't know anything about. Well, hopefully we're streaming now, so no, that's fine. Let me pause that, otherwise I'll hear myself. It won't be any good. Okay, well, welcome anyway, everybody. Not quite sure which button to press. Too much stuff going on here, so I'm a bit flustered. When you live stream on YouTube, you have to do the production and everything. Right, I'm recording this. Yes, I'm recording this as well. Oh, jeez. It says it's not streaming as well as it could be. Can someone just give me some sort of signal report or whatever? At least you can see every other frame, you know. It would be handy. Yeah, I think you can. Buffering badly, is it? Oh, blast. I wonder if it's worthwhile. Let's just wait 2 seconds, all right? And let's just see who else has got the same problem. And I'll go into the settings because we always stop the stream and then restart it again. So hold on a minute. ZS6JDE. Let me know how if we're streaming all right. 6,000 kilobits a second. Well, it looks all right. I understand why YouTube's got a problem. Jumpy as anything. Oh, Lord. Okay. We don't want that, do we? Buffering is very bad. Right, okay. Stay there then. We will stop this and restart it. But before we restart it, just go and get yourself a drink and let me faff around with the settings, see what I'm going to do. YouTube, automatic, output, encoder. Medium, nothing. Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let me just try something. Just wait for a minute and just see if this settles down. Okay. Right, now that you've heard that bit, I've done something here. That might be very good at all. So from that clap, now give me a signal report because, you know. 50 frames a second. Yes, it's awful. Video very laggy, says Sham. Sham, was that after the clap? Because if not, you know, it's pointless. Go to flight mode on the mobile. Jumping here. I'm after a very clear indication after the clap. Has it sorted itself or not? If not, what's the point in carrying on, really, after all that? No, I'm still not getting anybody on the live chat. Okay, well, I've done myself. We need to have a look, don't we? Hold on. Just hang by a minute, please. There was a stop and a start. Stop and a start. Stop and a start. We'll have to edit this bit out, so I'll scrape this off YouTube. If you don't mind, what I'd like to do is see if this will record at the same time. I've never done that. I beg your pardon about that whole malarkey, but that was Brett suggesting I came off 50 frames a second. So that'll be my computer. It records fine at 50 frames a second, but it doesn't obviously stream very well at that speed. Carry on, says Chris. A very good evening, everybody. I'm honoured to be kicking off Monday Night Ham Radio, okay, which if you search for that, Monday Night, MNHR, hashtag, you'll see other stuff going on again. Oh no, it's still breaking up. All right, well, this is no good, is it? Let's stop that recording. Maybe it was recording. Maybe it was the recording. Lots of video latency. Right, from this, now you can tell me what it's like. Stream health is healthy. And there's people dropping off all the time, which is no good. Better again, stable. Maybe the bit rate. Stable, stable, stable. Let's just crack on with dipoles, shall we? Since you're here for dipoles, aren't you? So I've got my pens and everything else. So I'll tell you what we're doing tonight is I will watch the live chat just in case. All right, seems better now. Good, seems better. Error. YouTube not receiving enough data. Hello. Looks like I have to redo this again. I'll do this as a proper video, and there we are. In fact, it was going to be a proper video, but all my batteries had ran out last night, and I didn't get time. We'll use a black pen. So, 6 frames a second. I can't. I mean, make your mind up. Lon is saying it's terrible. John's saying it's rocking. So I'm not going to continue until I can get a consensus of opinion, please. It's working. Okay, that's fine then. Good. I'm not going to take any notice then. All right, well, a very good day, everybody. I'm sorry about the beginning. So dipoles, what I want to talk about, it's a dipole which is balance line. That's what we call a doublet normally. And a dipole is normally, you know, attached at... It's good, carry on, says John. I thought we were on a... Everything's going wrong for me tonight. Maybe I'll just tell jokes or something. Is that probably easier? You know. Okay, this was going to be the ultimate guide to dipoles, but let's make it the practical guide, I think, to dipoles. And while you're on the stream, I'll change the thumbnail. So how many people are here? Not many. Because everything went wrong to start with. Oh, good Lord. Grab the hammer. 2 hams walked into a bar. All right. Give me some ham radio jokes, somebody. Let's just talk practical stuff, okay? Let's just be really, really normal and practical. So we're not going to do doublets. Let's do dipoles. A doublet would be balance line coming up to two equal wires. A little bit like this. You've got your balance line, like a window line. Then you've got these 2 random wires. Mine, I did, the whole thing was, let me think about this, 30 metres each side. And I had that on an oak tree. And that height there was about 12 metres or about 40-ish feet. All right? And that worked extremely well. And the reason I chose... 30 metres is because a 40 metre leg would have been 160 and a 20 metre leg would have been 80 metres. So what I did is I just cut it to be intermediate. So it wasn't going to be 50 ohms anywhere, and I let my tuner, the AT4K tuner, take up the slack. There's balanced line into the back of a big tuner, and that's how I did a doublet. We're not here to talk about that. We're going to talk about dipoles. So a dipole, we will have your coax coming up. And if you remember your coax, you got your braid here and you got your centre conductor here. And then we've got these 2 lines. And I'll show you exactly how to calculate that. I've done it before in a previous video, but we can do it again. And these are going to be 1/4 of a wave in terms of their length. All right. This one would connect, if you like. One end would connect to the braid and one end would connect to the centre conductor. And it's not magic. I once told people that an antenna, you know, an RF, was a bit like magic, and he was some sort of professor guy, and he said it doesn't help anybody to tell people, right, there's magic. Of course it's not blooming magic, but I do think it's absolutely remarkable that we can send this RF up a coax, and immediately it hits the top here, we get this electromagnetism coming off the top. I do think that's marvellous. So that's a dipole. Now we've got some decisions to make, and you've probably got, you know, well, I don't know, if you're live in the comments, perhaps let me know that you've made lip sync out this to me. Robert, I can't do anything about this, mate. I'm live now. Sorry about that. Oh, I tell you what it is. the lip sync will be out because there is something I can do about it. There is something I can do about it. Advanced audio properties. I haven't gone live on this new computer. Hold on. Hold on, this is worthwhile. I hate lip sync problems, all right? Properties. We can do this. We can do this. Bugger. I can't remember how I did it now. Advanced audio properties. Oh, sync offset. Oh, golly. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to guess at 125 milliseconds. I don't know if it'll allow me to do it. Reconnected. It's gone now. It seems fine now. You lot are fine. At least it's not out of tune. Okay, back to this here. We can do some shapes now, all right? Because very often you've got some sort of garden or backyard or whatever, and you want to get your dipole rammed inside this. And let's say you've got a dipole that is effectively far too big for this. Can you squeeze it in? Well, there's all number and manner of things you could do. If you've got like a tree here, you could do something like you could bring your dipole here and then bring the legs that way. That would work fine. Z shape works fine. 125 milliseconds seems to have nailed it. Oh, amazing. Thank you, Anton. But more than that, I had an aluminium pole here. In fact, there, yeah. And I had this 40-metre dipole. Now, this leg I brought round here, and this leg I brought round. And what I noticed, I'll draw this. Hang on a minute. What I noticed, if I'm looking, you know, out into the garden, there's the pole sticking up there, and here's the ground. I brought the dipole is coming down here, and if I just went parallel to the pole for a bit and then off, I could change the tune, because I basically had some loading going on here, and I'm convinced I did it once on 6 meters. Is that what I did? Is I tuned this. It was a vertical bit. It could have been a dipole. So if you've got a little inverted V dipole, you could strap a piece of wire here, not connect it to anything, and I'll bet you it would change the tune, because that's what's happened with me on a number of occasions. I got a wire coat hanger. I wasn't noticing it before, but it's mostly because I'm tired. I don't mind watching Callum. I have a face for radio and a voice for a print. So we can make this whole dipole a bit shorter, because a lot of the time... Well, let's cover something else. We'll shorten them in a minute. I've got to relax into this as well to get the best out of me. And I'll model a couple of these things as well, right? I just want to check that I haven't overdone the compression and you can't hear the fan. There's a blooming great fan here from Dyson. They sent it to us. We sent it back and they said, "Oh, just keep it." So it wasn't for the channel. It was some deal when he did. And that's kicking off in the background to keep me cool, because it is extremely hot in the UK at the moment. Height above ground. I think we'll cover that now. So, now, there are various charts on the internet which kind of look some weird thing like this. That's supposed to be 50 ohms. And depending on the height above ground, your SWR will change, because... when I did the foundation license, they told me, "Is the fan on?" Yes, it is. This is turning into a nightmare for me, I promise you. They'll tell you that a dipole in free space has an impedance of 73 ohms or something, right? But in fact, the ground has an effect on your dipole. So if you put a dipole up, and you think, "Oh, I just can't get a decent tune," you just either drop it down 6 feet, 2 meters, or put it up 6 feet, 2 meters, and all of a sudden, by magic, that will... Hang on, just to clean my glasses. It might well come into tune if it should tune, all right? Now, but there's something else that happens when we lift our dipole up and down. I'm desperately running out of paper. Oh, yes, this one here. So So that's our ground, and we've got a tree. That's whatever, right? Put a tree here. And something really interesting happens actually with this. So if we have a dipole and we have a little halyard here, we'll put it in red so you can see it nicely. For you people on your smartphone, have a dipole, whatever. I don't know what the frequencies. It doesn't 40 meters. It doesn't matter, right? And then one day you think actually the tree's grown and whatever else. We can put this higher up now. So, oh, this is a good idea. So what you do is, you put a halyard on here, you lift this whole thing up, and this goes up high. Exactly the same dipole, and you take it up higher. And then what happens? Well, interesting enough, all of a sudden, it's not going to be in tune anymore, because when it's lower to the ground, it can be shorter, that size, but when it's further up, these need to be a bit longer. And how I, because I can never quite remember. So one day I thought, well, what happens if a seagull was, it could be a pigeon, right? Let's say it's a seagull sitting on the edge of a cliff, all right, and he wants to take off. As he goes up, his wings will come out. Okay, so the higher up your antenna, not forever, right? Certainly within this, this kind of thing here. Probably up to half a wavelength, something like that. Not more than half a wavelength. So for 2 meters, you would never see this effect. But for 80 meters, it's quite substantial, right? So you'll just find as your antenna goes up, with the resonant frequency will go down, which means the antenna needs to be longer because the seagull is stretching his wings out. In fact, it reminds me of the book. Reminds me of that joke. What's this? Oh, it's a seagull going to the library to take his books back. There's another one actually. Oh yeah, what's this? Oh yeah, that's a seagull having already been to the library and dropped his books back. But what happens with height? Now we did. I don't like pigeons, Brett says. We will. I'll get my notes out of the way. Just sliding over to there. I need 3 monitors again. We have a 3rd monitor, by the way. It's there. You can see that black thing. It's just not connected up. It's so hot. I don't know why I decided to do a live. Well, I do know why I decided to do a live stream, and it nearly went completely wrong. What's he going to scan in pages from his notebook and sell them? Jeff, interesting you say that. I know this sounds really funny, but this book has got my last, 40 videos in it, and you'll recognise a lot of this stuff. I was going to, for fun, auction it, not for me. We could have a charity like I think in the UK there's an amateur radio blind charity. Just think it'd be quite fun, wouldn't it? We would raise, somebody might want it just for fun, this book. I'm not selling it. I'm just asking your opinion. It'd be quite good fun, wouldn't it? I'll sign the front. It sounds a bit pathetic, but we could raise $20, $30 or whatever. Send it to the RSGB blind charity. I think it'd be good. The RAIBC, says John. That's what it's called. Height above ground. Yes, auction it. Good plan. I'll bid, says Nathan. Oh, that'd be funny. Right, there's another button I can press now, which is, I think, that one. Oh, it is. Yeah, good. Right, well, we'll do that now then. MMANA. Now, it's because, to be honest, I've changed a lot of stuff around recently, as you probably noticed earlier on. And because of that, I'm not going to be able to flick very easily, super fast, between the monitor and the camera. So I'll probably just leave it on the monitor for a bit, which I think is that one there. We were just going to do a flat top dipole, to be honest. ZXY. This should be easy. Hang on a minute. 5 meters that way and 5 meters that way. I mean, that's it. It's a dipole. Where's it gone? Where it should be there. Is it 5 meters, or have I put 5 meters that way, 5 meters that way? Why? Oh, -5. Are you all having a laugh there? I do hope so, because I'm not. Wire 1 base. Oh, I know what we're going to do, right? We were going to work out what happens. I'm thinking to myself, what the hell am I drawing this for? All right. Just have a look at what happens with the height. So if you remember, back down, oh, there's Rowley, by the way. Hello, Rowley. We change the height of our dipole, the tune will change, or what happens if we change the height in terms of its pattern? You know, do you get out further and that sort of thing, whatever. So let's just have a look at that. Now, I think what we should do is, let's start at a quarter of a wavelength would be 5. Okay, a quarter of a wavelength above the ground. There we are. SWR is a little bit weird. What's going on? I put it at the end. That's an end fed. Wire 1 centre. We just made an end fed and hung it in the air. Don't worry about this. By the way, if you've just joined us, okay, I've had a bloody nightmare tonight. For a start off, it is really hot in the UK. So it peaked at about 30 degrees in the shade. We're centigrade over here. Tomorrow's going to be even hotter, and there's talk of it getting even hotter again next week. And being in the UK, we get like 2 weeks every 10 years, which is extremely hot. So I know nobody's got air conditioning. All right, we've got air conditioning in the office. We moved in, it just happened to be there, so we ran it today. Oh, well, he's got some autumn storms there, look. Far field plot. Okay, so what we were going to do is Control-Shift-1. Just have a look at the plot at 5 metres off the ground for the 20 metre band. So it's a quarter of a wavelength off the ground. And a quarter of a wavelength off the ground, you get a pattern like that, which, in all honesty, that's like putting a 40 metre dipole up at 10 metres off the ground. So the lower it goes on the ground, actually, the more gain up here you've got. So if you're a Saturday morning sort of guy or girl on 40 metres and you've got something anywhere between 5 and 10 metres off the ground, you'll find you'll work great. And people say, don't they? They go, oh yeah, my dipole works fantastic. It's working a DX is the problem. Particularly that's why I've picked 20 metres, because 20 metres is a... Chris, G7 VEO says 36 centigrade predicted for Sunday. Andrew Hill says, don't worry, you're doing fine. Oh, okay. And John Wales got air conditioning. Well, we don't want to know him, do we? So it's just rated up. I mean, we'll just do it in increments. So 10 metres, so half a wavelength. And if you remember, we did this sort of thing on the hex beam, and that came out yesterday, actually. So you could have a look at. So it's looking more DXy. In other words, these lobes are coming down lower. And if you remember, some of the old timers, I use as a vertical antenna, which is, just a vertical on the ground, right, where the centre of the coax goes to here and the braid of the coax goes out here, right? And I use that as a baseline because we know that at 5 degrees off the horizon, we'll get a number about -5 dBi. Yeah, so it happens -5, and so I very often look at that -5 figure just to see what would happen at -5. So if we went back here to make sure you can see it at 5 meters, okay, 20, 18, 19 feet, and look at 5 degrees off the horizon. It says, middle figure in the centre of my screen, it says -9.8. So that is exactly the same. 20 metres, 5 metres off the ground is the same as your 40 metre dipole at 30 feet, at 10 metres off the ground, right? You'd be nearly -10, which is why on 40 metres getting DX with a fairly low to the ground dipole is a bit of a big ask. Okay, so let's go back to this again. So we increase that then to 10. What does that give us roughly? Ignoring SWR, we've got, I could tune it and everything, but honestly, it's not going to make any difference to this. -5 degrees off the horizon. So we're a dB better now. So dB dB better at half a wavelength. All right, I just said, remember, it's half a wavelength, isn't it? Yeah, 20 metre band, 10 metres off the ground. So there we are. We are half a wavelength off the ground. So you could use that on any antenna you like. So if that's 40 metres and you're after a bit of DX, or 40, then you'd have to be 20 metres off the ground, 60-something feet on your dipole. At 80 metres, you've got to double it, 120, 130 feet to beat just a straight vertical on your transmit. Okay, signal to get out there. And then we're just going to go up a little bit higher. We'll do 15. And it'd be interesting to see what happens to the SWR. Does it come back down? Look, it's coming back down there, that in blue. 15 metres. This is where now, hopefully, I won't do it that way. Let's just cruise down here. So now we are 0.1. We're basically 5 to 6 dB better than your vertical at 3/4 of the wavelength. And I'm only using the vertical just as a baseline because, you know, we know it doesn't, you know, it works every time, doesn't it? Our whole wavelength is now 5, 6, 7, 8 dB. 8 dB on a whole wavelength. So your height above ground is really important, which is why on the hex beam video we did all this as well, not on a straight dipole. Now I don't need to model this, but what I can tell you is that I'm saying we don't need to model it. I just want to show you something because this is quite interesting. Let's come back down to 5. In fact, what we'll do is let's make this into a 40 metre minus 10. Let's just make this for 40 metres a minute. 7-ish megahertz. Let's have a look. Add 5. Roughly SW. Oh, I've got more of these to make, haven't I? Sorry, I was thinking 7. Okay, so we're nearly 7.2. Sorry, I'm doing a series on ANA, and I just realised I haven't made one for a while. I was going to show you some of the tricks and tools and stuff. Here we are. So I just wanted to look. We can click a button here and say at 5 degrees, just take us all the way around. I think we should. Let's make this a bit higher. Let's make it 10 metres, 30 feet. Let's make it reasonable, you know. Elevation 5. Okay, fine. So 9.6 minus 17. Now, these are really important numbers because what I'm about to do, I'm just going to make a note of these. So that dipole looks a little bit like that. Off the end here is minus 18, and off this end is minus 9.6, because if we inverted V it, so we're about to find out. I think we get slightly more gain actually going this way. So let's convert this into inverted V and just check. And that's what happens. So we can undo this really quickly. Divide a wire into 3 pieces. I'll go to, say, X, Y, Z. Okay. Just roughly is fine. Oh, blimey. Let me just take a quick look at a live chat, just see what's going on. If you're having a good time, man, that's fine. Oh, they're having a chat. That's fine. So we are north-south on this one here. North-south. I'll just zoom in a bit. I want to make my dipole centre a wee bit smaller. And Rowley and I are going to book a chat in the next week or so, Rowley. But you know that. I will drop you a line soon. Calculate. Start. Good, it's still working. It's still working. That's gone out of place. I'll be wire 2 now. Wire 2 centre. There it is. Right, now we can convert this. So that's exactly the same as we had a minute ago at 5 degrees off the horizon. That should be minus 18, it is, and that should be minus 9, and it is. So what happens if we turn it into an inverted V? Because a lot of us have an inverted V, don't we? So I can do X, Y, Z. There it is. Oh, there's Mike. Mike's about to go on holiday. In fact, Mike, Tim, Jonathan, and Tom, we're having a secret DX fest. And if we have the bandwidth, we will try and live stream. And that's roughly on the 13th, that should be a bit bigger, of August. We're going out to the hills and having some fun. So would you agree that's roughly an inverted V? I'm just getting these lengths about right, and I'm looking over here, 9.8. That'll do. Because all I want to do is, I might have to change the frequency. Plots, SWR. Where's that resonant now? 6.97. That'll do. 6.97. We could go out and trim a bit off, whatever else. SWR, elevation, 5. Oh, yes, it worked. Look at that. So, in fact, our inverted V, I'll just take a note, has gone from, so no, it's now, it was minus 18 and minus 9.6, whoops, 0.6, and it is now, according to the chart here, which I'm going to show you, because I can't be bothered, is now minus 13, and off that edge there is minus 10, 10.7 actually. So isn't that interesting? So you want, in fact, I won't. I'm going to do this. All right. What happens if we make this quite a substantial V? These will need to be down that way. We will lose a bit here, but 10.4, 10.1. Oh, it's up a bit. That's why that needs to go there. That's not quite right angles actually. 10 point. Each leg is so this will be resonant. Probably a bit lower again actually. Let's have a look. Plots. SWR. Resonance. 6.992. All right, that'll do. 6.992. Just to demonstrate to us. Far field plot. Elevation. 5 degrees. I have done it. Minus 10.8, minus 10.8. My goodness. So in fact, well, yeah, I suppose it would. So minus basically 10, and that's minus 10. So 45 degree does that to you. Fascinating. Well, yeah. Didn't know that. Let's put that there. Are you playing radio today? No, we're not. Just check my notes, see if I've missed anything. Can we change the shape? Yeah, okay. Flat top or inverted V we've done. How do we connect it? Do we need a choke? Do we need a choke? Because... do we need a choke? Well, let's ask Rowley. Do we need a choke? I mean, technically, yes, you do. Why do you need a choke? Because the braid of the coax is acting as part of your antenna when it shouldn't be. Okay, because some of the well, there's no choke there, so it's coming back down to braid. And what happens in the old days when the first thing you knew that you were definitely getting RF in the shack is your mouse would stop working. Doesn't seem to happen with the wireless ones now, but or you'd get terrible audio on your. People would say you've got RF in your audio and all that stuff. So then you'd use a choke. Definitely use a choke. What is a choke? You can buy them or you can make them. Normally, just a dirty balun or just a coil of a few turns, basically, of coax. Dirty balun. Look it up on the internet. You can just do it as part of your construction in an old lemonade bottle, you know, then throw the bottle away and tape it up. Becomes a bit of a monstrosity, I'm afraid. Burn your lips on the microphone. Oh my goodness. WECB 640. I can never remember your real name, but I burnt the back of my hand once doing that. Never burnt my lips, but I cut ugly Ballon. That was it. I thought I'd use that word. Whatever. I'll just take another drink. What's the time? 36. Technically, yes, you need a choke. Amazing how many times you get away without it, though. The length of Coax disguises a lot of evils. Greg, that's it, Greg. Sorry, mate. Inverted L off-centre fed. Is that something for me? We're not doing inverted L's off-centre fed today. But I'll just read through my notes. So what happens when the signal, we've done that. The height above ground changes the tune. Can we change the shape? Yeah, you're amazed at how... So the shape, any shape, honestly, just as long as, you know, like half of it, if your element's supposed to be that size, right, you've got two elements, as long as the first half is roughly doing that, you can do anything you want with here. You can come down, along a fence, up an apple tree. It's because that's what I've done in the past. Doesn't seem to make a blooming any difference at all. I'll tell you what we do need is that the Martin Lynch Brigade sent me very kindly a dummy load to test, but I'm very, very keen to put a piece of RG58 on it, put it up the pole, and see if we can get some contacts on it. Just for the hell of it. I think that's it for today. We'll change the thumbnail, or I won't allow it to stream beyond this, or put it unlisted or something, because, you know, I can't have, 6 or 7 minutes at the beginning of this. If you missed the beginning, what you don't know is I hit the button and it didn't even have the stream key. Oh. Yeah, very true, actually. I mean, the lower the ground you are, I mean, if you can do... now, I did a test in Bude years ago, and I got to 1.2 metres or 4 feet off the ground on the 40-metre band before I started to notice, for real, that the signals were dying away, all right? But at 4 feet off the ground, 1.2 metres, it was fine. 6 feet was about perfect for 40-metre band. It was perfect. I was all over the UK. Nobody had a clue it was just off a fence height. If you haven't done a fence height antenna before for 40 or 80 metres, I really consider ask you to do it. Of course, it won't be quite as much wire as you think, because it's quite low to the ground with the capacitors on the ground. So there we are. I just want to make sure Rowley's a happy bunny. And if he's still watching or not. Which way does the tune go from flat top to inverted V? Oh, I don't know. So, I mean, because you're proportionally changing it off the ground anyway, I would have thought, I mean, you'll just fold it down, look at it and go, oh, we're up 100 kilohertz, 200 kilohertz away. For a Saturday afternoon test, it actually doesn't matter, because all you can do is you just chop a bit off, all right? Didn't mean to stump you. Oh, that's all right. And you've got to remember that. The other thing you can do is you can always go to... I'll need a new Chrome instance. If you're stuck, you can always do M0MCX SWR calculator. There it is. You can always come here. Okay, Rowley, that's good. I just wanted to make sure it was happy, but I still haven't fixed that. The new website is... I'll tell you about that in a minute, actually. Enable editing. So this is fairly cool. So if you had your antenna and it was working perfectly at 7.2 and now it's working at 7.1, so it's resonant now, but you're aiming for 7.1, it'll tell you to cut 13.64 centimetres. Conversely, if it's at 6.9, 6.85, and you want it at 7.1, then you need to cut 35 centimetres off each end. Right, and we are going to do converting metric to inches in your head, really simply, for ham radio, because the science of RF, and well, science is kind of metric, and certainly in the last 100 years or so, it'd be handy if 4% of the world's population, which is my American friends, could join in on the metric front. Oh, lovely. I think we've probably done enough. 39 inches in a metre, says Jeff. Each leg, John. John wanted to know if, let's see. Here it says, dipoles, cut, add this amount to each leg. There we are. It's a trick calculator, okay? So we need to do that. You need to check it isn't an electric fence first. I'm loving this chit-chat. But there we are. Let's. I don't want to overstay my welcome. 137 of you that have put up with me this far. I'm a 4%er and prefer using metric, says 45 Auto. Good. All right. Well, just make sure there's nothing else I need. So, okay. Oh, yeah, I was going to tell you about the website. Lockie's been doing a great job. He's put nearly all the products in. We want to do a whole set of spare parts now. But I'll see James sometime this week, because we've got some shipping rules to put in and all sorts of stuff, which is a bit of a nightmare. So that's fine. And then the other thing is this book. It'd just be fun to auction it off, because I've thrown the last two away, and I thought, wouldn't it be fun? I'll, sign the beginning, Callum's notebook, whatever, July 2022, and we'll give the money to the Royal National, whatever. Jonathan gave it earlier on. There's a blind charity that's associated to the RSGB. Something like that, I really don't give a shit who gets the money, to be honest, as long as it's for a good cause, all right? But it saves me throwing it away, and it's just a bit of fun, I've got my new notebook all ready to go. By the way, these are Derwent books. The RAIBC. What does it stand for? It's a black book. The Radio Accelerated Independent Broadcast Centre. That was good, Callum. Thank you. How much for the book? I don't know. I'll just put it on eBay, shall I? Put it on eBay, and I'll publish the link, and then people can have a go. Put it on eBay, then we could do it. I can let eBay do the international shipping, because all I have to do is send it to Sutton Coldfield, and it goes to anywhere in the world. Pre-order his new book today. Tambit, you've missed blooming nothing, mate. It took 10 minutes to get the stream started. There were all sorts of problems. I don't think I'm going to tell you. We'll do live again Friday morning. Antenna's still up, 12.4. Everything's fine. Everything's absolutely fine. All right. Now, we used to have an end button. Oh, I haven't installed it. Never mind. That notebook is a mono-bander. 2E0GIY. I recorded 4 videos. Sorry, you can go now. Right, I'm just waffling. I recorded 4 videos this morning. All about 5-6 minutes each. I'm really liking I say not a new format, but I'm doing some really short stuff at the moment, which people are really enjoying. So that's nice. So do I. Makes it easy for me. Trouble is, with a long video, I've got to watch the whole blooming thing. Don't know how many times, make all the edits and everything. Get on the drums and play an outro. We could do. Oh, yes. So we've got the band coming round. The new band. Keith and Dee, they're called. They're coming round on Wednesday night, 7 o'clock here. So I've stripped all those drums down, put them all back together again. They sounded great. I can't show you the mixer, because if I did, you wouldn't be able to hear me. But I've set it all up. I've EQ'd all the drums and everything else. And then, there's a friend of mine called Andy Bennett, and he was the bass player with a band you've probably never heard of here in the US, but they were called Ocean Colour Scene. He lives around the corner here. And he wanted to come around anyway, play some stuff on the guitar, because I wanted to record it so I could make some tunes. But I thought what we'd do is, once we're comfortable about being this kind of session band, I'll then get, not stars, but, we'll get singer-songwriter, guitarist round, and we were going to live stream it. It sounds blooming crazy, I know, but I'll ask some of you at least to come over, just to click us over, whatever, I don't know, I haven't got the channel yet, all right, but we'll create a new channel, you know, the Bunker Boys or something, I have no idea, right? And then I'll ask you to come over, and then we'll live stream we'll actually do live gigs in here. Oh, it'd be hilarious fun. So if you're into that, then that'd be fun. The day we caught the train, and there's the runaway railway song or something. Trains, I don't know. But yeah, they were a great band in their day. Apparently they pissed off a load of DJs at Radio 1, and that too much to drink and too big for their boots. For one day. I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? Goodbye. All right, thanks for joining me, and thanks for putting up with me, all right, because I'll change the thumbnail, because it's been a bit of a disaster tonight. I can edit it, but as soon as I edit it, we lose the live chat. I'll try and do that. I'll try and use the editor. Draw a horse on the cover and make the bidding in guineas. Brilliant. It's been a Monday, says Lon. It has indeed. All right, with that, there's a button here I can press, and it's all over. All the best. See you next time. Bye for now.